Yun was a bitchless incel from ancient China, whose only good quality was that he was rich. But his life takes a terrible turn when the evil ugly-ass emperor forces him to take an expired Walmart immortality pill and seals him in a clay statue. Everyone thought that the pathetic loser must have died, but his life takes a dramatic turn when he wakes up after 1,000 years and saves a beautiful girl from some evil sorcerers who were after her. The reason he would go so far that he woke up from the dead to save the girl was not because she was flat, but it was because she is his sister-in-law and the person who was the closest to him. They lived in a peaceful village in ancient China, where the day of all the villagers started with lining up in front of the house of the Mo family to collect money for the damage Yun had done. Inside the house, Mei, Yun's sister-in-law, gets news about the angry mob at their door. She gets up calmly to face the peasants and throw fat bundles of cash at their ugly faces, while Yun is in the forest, staking a beast that he has been planning to hunt for a long time. He pulls out a huge-ass crossbow to take it down, but the beast notices it and starts running away, causing Yun to miss his shot that was already as bad as a stormtrooper's. He calls his horse and chases after the beast, unleashing another crossbow hidden in his sleeves. He manages to shoot down the beast, but fails in finishing it. The beast gets up and does a Fortnite dance because of the pain, and then angrily charges at Yun. Yun's horse betrays him at the last moment and runs away, leaving him to fend for himself. He tries using his hidden bow again, but the beast shatters it and then pins him to the ground. It takes all of Yun's strength just to keep the beast away from eating him, but he is getting tired now. Suddenly, two people arrive there, and one of them starts strangling the beast with his bare hands. The beast soon loses its life, and Yun gets up, staring blankly at the stylish man who just saved his life. However, instead of thanking him, he begins crying like a wimp. He says that he was planning to hunt this beast for so long, and now someone else came about and defeated it. He asks the man to pay him money for that, which pisses him off because he thinks that Yun is some kind of scammer. However, the old dude with the man just laughs it off and gives Yun some money. After that, he asks Yun if he can tell them about Tai, the master of the Mo family. Yun says that he doesn't know anyone by that name, even though Tai is his elder brother. He thanks the two men for the money and then leaves, taking the dead beast with him. The two men are surprised by his strength and they think that he is an interesting fellow. Later, Yun returns home, where Mei treats his injuries. She asks him why he had to do something so reckless as fighting a beast, and he replies that he did it for her. Apparently, Mei is sick, and the organs of the beast are needed for her medicine. Mei tells him that rather than risking his life, he should behave properly because she will be fine once her husband Tai returns. Speaking of Tai, Yun tells Mei that two people were looking for him earlier today. Mei tells him that some letters from Tai arrived here today and gives one to Yun, who eagerly rushes to his room and puts it in a freaking projector that displays a full HD holographic message from Tai. Tai tells his brother to stop being a troublemaker and study hard so that he can help him in the capital. He doesn't even mention when he is going to be back, and Yun falls asleep disappointed. The next day, early in the morning, some mean-looking soldiers arrive at their door. They tell Mei that they are here to escort her to the capital, and don't give any reasons for that. Seeing that the soldiers mean business, Mei agrees to go with them. Yun tries to stop her, but she tells him to behave himself while she is gone and enters the carriage. However, Yun can't let her go so easily, so he chases after her. He takes down one soldier on horseback, and others attack him from all sides. Yun is too swift and strong for them, and he easily takes them all down. However, as he is busy dealing with the soldiers, the captain attacks him from behind, throwing him to the ground. He is about to punish him when Mei asks him to not harm her brother-in-law. Yun says that he is going to come to the capital with Mei, and the captain tells him that since he is a member of the Mo family, he will let him come along. As they move ahead, Mei scolds Yun for being reckless, but he tells her that he couldn't let her go to the capital alone. Just then, their carriage passes through the under-construction Great Wall of China, and the scenery there fills Yun with dread. There are slaves as far as he can see, and they are being treated like the workers in Amazon warehouses. Not far away is the capital, where the crazy emperor assembles the scholars of his country, who have come to present him the elixir pill that can make him live for 1,000 years. The emperor is really eager to consume the pill, and the scholars tell him that he is lucky because the pill usually takes 100 years to be refined. But for him, it happened just within 5 years. This fills the emperor's head with doubt, and he immediately commands the soldiers to kill all the scholars because he doesn't trust them anymore. Coincidentally, the person in charge of creating the pill was Tai, and he reached the king's room just in time to witness this massacre. A few days later, Yun and Mei reach the capital, and he is smitten by how grand the palace is. Mei makes him promise to not be reckless inside the palace no matter what. But as soon as they reach the palace, Yun sees his brother and runs to him without thinking about anything. He holds his hands and suddenly sees sturdy handcuffs around them. Tai is shocked to see Yun here, and then gets even more shocked to see his wife. The emperor arrives just then, and Tai begs him to forgive his family. The emperor simply intimidates him into being silent, and a sly-looking minister tells Mei that she has to test the elixir that her husband made for the emperor. She will be turned into a clay statue and kept in a tomb for a long time, and if she is still alive after that, the emperor will greatly reward Tai for successfully creating a pill. However, if he fails, the entire family will be given a free one-way trip to the afterlife. Tai panics and begs the emperor to let him do it, but he refuses, saying that he needs to do other things for him. Mei accepts the emperor's order and says she will test the pill because she believes that her husband will never do a poor job at anything. But then, without any warning, Yun knocks her out. The emperor's guards immediately pin him down and get ready for action. But Yun asks the emperor to let him try the pill instead of his sister-in-law. The emperor agrees and says that if the pill doesn't work, their entire village will be burned down. Fast forward to the present. An actress and a part-time grave digger, archaeologist Shin wakes up as she gets a call from her senior. As he tells her about some ancient ruins they just discovered, Shin immediately jumps up from bed and starts getting ready. Her senior informs her that there are some clay statues on the site, but they don't know exactly which era they belong to. Shin quickly visits the site and is shocked to see a huge number of clay soldiers hidden underground. She starts clicking pictures and thinks that the tomb belongs to the Qin dynasty, but this place is too far from any major city, and a tomb should not be here. Her senior tells her that there is something even more interesting here and leads her to a suit of ancient armor. He says that the armor has not been damaged in the slightest and is covered with ancient symbols on the inside. Shin is curious about it, and when she looks at the helmet, she sees a pair of eyes staring at her. She is taken aback by that, and when she turns around to find her senior, he is gone. She looks around, but then the lights go out, scaring the shit out of her. She runs away, but someone hits her from behind. It turns out to be a creepy guy with a monkey-like face, and Shin thinks that he is going to attack her. But he ignores her like your crush ignores you and walks to the armor. He starts telling Shin that ordinary people like her will never know the value of this armor, which is a legendary item created by the crazy Qin emperor. Shin thinks that the guy is a nutjob, but he introduces himself as treasure hunter Shu. He tells Shin that she will never see her senior again and even threatens to kill her. However, Shin manages to distract him and then hits him with Ballbuster 2000 before knocking him out with the helmet. She runs away, but Shu chases after her, using his dark powers to destroy the statues on the way. He also has a pet monkey with him, and it seems like they have the same biological father. He manages to corner Shin, but instead of giving the helmet to him, she yeets it as far away as she can. Shu is furious now and rushes to attack her, but he hits the only clay statue he should not have. A golden light briefly radiates from the cave, and the statue that Shu attacked starts cracking to reveal that Yun was inside it. Yun grabs the monkey man's arm and then hits him away, and then he turns towards Shin, who can't stop staring at him. She is terrified of him because she thinks that she is in the horror version of Night at the museum. Yun moves towards her, but then he suddenly has a terrible headache as the memories of his life come flooding to him. He remembers that after he took the pill, Tai gave him their family pendant and said that his survival is purely up to luck now. Yun replied that he trusts his brother's skill, and then he was covered with clay. As Yun is busy regaining his memories, Shu gets up and says that today is his lucky day because he found a human who has been alive since ancient times, and that beats the legendary armor in rarity and value. He decides to find out if Yun is really immortal and attacks him with his dark energy. But even in his weakened state, Yun easily blocks his attack because he knows the art to cultivate his spiritual energy. In the tussle between Shu and Yun, a large amount of energy is released, damaging the nearby statues and creating a loud explosion that brings the people in charge of the site there. Shu decides to call it a day and runs away, with his monkey stealing the helmet. Shin is dumbfounded by all of this, and then suddenly, Yun holds her hand and calls her sister-in-law because she looks exactly the same as the Mei. A few moments later, they are in the police station, and Shin throws a tantrum that she is also a victim of the situation and has nothing to do with damaging the statues. The police officer says that they will verify things with her senior when he gets up, because apparently he just knocked himself out because of fear and Shu didn't harm him at all. In another corner of the room, Yun is having a live mukbang for the policemen and criminals alike, and the police officer asks Shin if that guy is her brother-in-law like he claims. She replies that she has never seen him before, and she isn't married either. She begins explaining how Yun broke free from inside a clay statue, and the officer thinks that maybe she forgot her schizo meds today. They are let go, and Shin immediately thanks Yun for saving his life and tells him that they should go their separate ways now. He keeps following her, but as he turns around the corner, he is left dazed and perplexed by the modern world. The people on the street are also curious about him and think that he is a cosplayer. Yun forgets everything as he spots Shin and stands in the middle of the road to call out to her. She gets in a cab, and Yun does park her over cars and buses to reach her. Shin tells the cab driver to hurry, but Yun casually pulls out the door while trying to stop her and causes an accident. That leads them back to the police station, and Shin again asks why she has to be punished for a stranger's mistakes. The police officer thinks that both of them are deranged, but then suddenly, a lawyer sent by Shin's rich dad comes there and bails her out, but she doesn't like that at all. On the other hand, Yun gets put in a prison cell, where a bunch of mean-looking prisoners plan on making him their bitch. One of them tries to take Yun's pendant, so he slams him against the wall. The remaining prisoners try ganging up on him, but Yun whoops their asses and shows them their place. He then asks them how he can find his sister-in-law, and they say that he needs to get out of here first, but that is not possible. Yun simply uses his spiritual energy to blast a hole in the wall to escape, freaking out the prisoners. While Yun is wandering around the city, Shin also has trouble sleeping because she can't get Yun out of her mind. She calls the police station to inquire about him, but everyone there is busy interrogating the other prisoners who were in Yun's cell, so Shin decides to visit him personally, and coincidentally, Yun finds her just then. He walks towards her and then suddenly collapses on her shoulder, and she carries him inside. The next morning, as Yun wakes up, he begins looking for Shin around the house. He finds her eventually, inside the bathroom, and that causes her to freak out. Shin then angrily confronts him, telling him for the final time that she is a single loser without even a boyfriend, so she can't have a brother-in-law. She then asks him how he even found her, and he replies that he tracked her scent. Shin is disgusted on hearing that and tells him that she doesn't want to see him again, so he should not come near her. Anyway, as a parting gift, she buys him some nice clothes so that he doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. With that, she leaves for her work as an actress, but Yun feels the need to be close to her. At Shin's shooting set, she is playing the role of a spoiled noble girl from ancient China. The production crew is a mess, with people falling from the roof and missing actors. The director tells Shin that she has to shoot the part of another actress as well, and that involves some action-packed stunts. Reluctantly, Shin is lifted up, and she fights the stuntman on the roof. But when it is time to jump, her harness suddenly snaps and she falls to the ground. Everyone freaks out, but luckily, Yun arrives there just in time, hitting the stuntman before rescuing Shin. She asks him what he is doing here, and he replies that he came to save her from these attackers. The director angrily approaches him for making a mess of his set, and Shin tries to cover up for him. However, Yun thinks that the director is the leader of the attackers, and he plans to deal with him quickly. While Shin stops him and explains what a movie is, the director's assistant shows him clips of Yun's insane moves. The director is so impressed that he immediately casts Yun in the movie. Later, Yun walks Shin home, and he still doesn't get the difference between real life and acting. He tells her that he is from another time period, and he has no idea how long he slept. Shin doesn't really believe him despite seeing him come out of a clay statue, but she pities him, so she arranges for him to sleep on her building's roof. Yun is content with that, and he thinks of his brother and sister-in-law before falling asleep. However, the insane level of noise pollution is too much for his sharp senses to bear, and he closes his ears. Just then, he senses that Shin is in danger and immediately rushes to save her. He is too late because by the time he arrives at the room, there is no trace of Shin or the attackers. Instead, he is greeted by feral rats, who suddenly attack him from all sides. Yun uses his spiritual power to blast them all away, and the rats vanish into ashes as a note falls down. It is from Shu, who tells Yun to come to an abandoned factory tomorrow if he wants to save Shin. But the problem is that Yun can't read for shit. On the other hand, Shin is tied up in the abandoned factory, and since she doesn't stop screaming, Shu's monkey shoves his huge banana into her mouth. Meanwhile, Yun reaches the location following Shin's scent and confronts Shu, asking what the hell he wants. He replies that he is curious about how he stayed alive for so long and what his connection is to the legendary armor that was in the tomb. Shu tells Yun to work with him because they will be unstoppable together, but Yun just picks him up and slams him to the ground. He starts walking towards Shin when Shu's monkey attacks him. Suddenly, the monkey turns into King Kong's illegitimate son, growing in size and pushing Yun back. The demonic monkey is really powerful and agile, and it manages to hit Yun into the floor. However, Yun was not using his full strength earlier. He easily blocks and dodges the demon monkey's attacks, and then slams it to the wall. Next, he begins pummeling it with his spiritual energy punches, but Shu takes advantage of this and stabs him from behind. He tells Yun that he has been poisoned now, and soon he will be completely paralyzed. He then decides to show him his true abilities and plays an old and horrible sounding flute that makes demonic rats come out of the monkey's body. Yun uses fire attacks on the rats charging at him, but they regenerate even after turning to ash. They begin combining to attack him from all sides and then surround him in a sphere. Shu boasts that the demon rats can't be killed, and he is the only one who can control them using the power of his special flute. So Yun just shoots the flute and breaks it, right before blowing away all the demonic rats. Shu can't believe that he lost, and then Yun punches him with full strength, knocking him out. With that, Yun frees Shin, and just then, they hear police outside, telling them to come out peacefully. Yun plans to get away quickly, but Shu laughs at him, saying that they won't be safe anywhere because the treasure hunter company will come after them now. The next day, the news talks about how the helmet that was stolen from the ruins was found in an abandoned factory, and Shu was arrested as the culprit. The police officer tells the media that there were more people on the site, but they left before police arrived. Shin watches the news in her dressing room, and suddenly, Yun arrives there. She tells him to get out because he should not be here, but Yun notices Shu on her mobile and exclaims that he is the guy from last night. Shin shuts his mouth and tells him not to tell anyone about what happened last night. Someone comes to fetch her on the director's order, so Shin leaves in a hurry, leaving behind her phone. Yun decides to return it to her, but a girl was changing there at the same time, and accidentally, he activates the camera and clicks a few pictures, causing the girl to think that he is a pervert. She slaps the shit out of him and takes away the phone as she walks away. Later, as Yun is helping around the set, he asks a fellow worker about why the girl would slap him for no reason. The guy tells him that the girl is Zhao, who works as an errand girl, but she has the dream to become a big star. As they are talking about that, they come to the prop room, and Yun is amazed by all the weapons there. The other guy tells him that all these props work exactly like the originals and asks if he wants to try it. On the other hand, Shin goes to the director, who is talking with the film's lead actress. The lead actress arrogantly refuses to work for his broke project anymore and walks out. And the director immediately asks Shin if she would like to become the lead actress instead. She is taken aback by the sudden offer, but the director leads her to the producer's room. The producer tells Shin that he wants her to be the female lead in his next drama, and she signs the contract without even bothering to read it. However, as the producer hands over a briefcase full of money to the director for persuading Shin to become the lead actress, she becomes suspicious. She asks what the hell is happening, and just then, her dad, Mr. Hong, comes there. Shin freaks out on seeing him and tries to destroy the contract, but Hong pulls it first. Shin is not happy to see him, but he tells her that he just wants to give her acting career a little push. She tells him that she is not going to work in the drama if he is behind it. But he reads a clause of the contract that says that if she breaks the contract, she will have to leave the acting business. Shin curses herself for not reading the terms and conditions and reluctantly agrees. Meanwhile, the helper girl Zhao is trying to get close to the former lead actress by bringing her dress, but she trips and drops the dress. She apologizes and tries to pick the dress up, but the arrogant kicks away the box and tells her to stay away. The upset Zhao picks up the dress anyway, and just as Yun arrives there to apologize to her, she gets called away for another task. Just then, Shin also comes there while her annoying dad is following her. Yun pulls her to the side, and Hong suddenly awakens his protective dad mode and charges at him. He asks Yun how dare he touch his daughter and what kind of relationship he has with her. Shin tells him that it is none of his business, but Hong ignores her and rushes at Yun. Yun blocks his punch and then notices that he looks like the captain who took him and Shin to the capital. Hong is about to attack Yun again, but Shin walks away, so he decides to chase after her instead. At night, as Yun is walking around the city, he thinks of the weapons he saw in the prop room today. That reminds him of the time his brother taught him how to shoot his spiritual energy using the bow that went on his arm. Suddenly, he hears the sound of a girl screaming and rushes to help her. It turns out to be Zhao, who is cornered by 3 goons that are here to ask for a repayment of the debt her mother took from their boss. They tell Zhao that if she doesn't have money, she can just sleep with their boss, and when she tries to get away, they slap her. Zhao is in tears now, but then Yun arrives to help her. He tells the 3 bastards to keep her hands away from her. They pull out knives, saying that she must repay her debt, but Yun swipes the knife from their hands and says that this is not the right way to do things. He cuts off one man's belt, dropping his pants and forcing him to run away with his friends. He then turns to Zhao and asks if she is fine, but she starts crying and runs away. She thinks of how no one thinks that she can be an actress, and on top of that, she has to deal with her mother's debt. As she is crying in the rain, a rich man finds her. He takes her to a fine restaurant, thinking that she is a movie star, and tells her to relax because he will pay the bill. Zhao thinks that he is a kind guy and accepts a drink, not knowing that the man had spiked in already. She loses consciousness, and when she opens her eyes again, she is in the man's apartment. He comes out of the bathroom and tells her that she should lose weight because she was not easy to carry here. Zhao tries running away, but the door is locked, and the man pounces on her. She struggles to free herself and finds a heavy thing in her range, so she uses it to hit the man's head as hard as she can. She doesn't stop there and hits him till her anger calms down, but only after that does she realize that she killed the man in her rage. She has a breakdown, thinking that her life is going to be even worse now. So she opens the window and decides to take the shortcut to the afterlife, but something catches her mid-air. Zhao opens her eyes to see herself being held by mysterious black smoke that takes the form of a human. She freaks out and asks who he is, and the smoke man tells her that he is called the producer. He then asks her why she wants to die when she has such great ambition and dreams. Zhao says that she killed someone, but the smoke man tells her to not let that weigh on her. He asks her to forget about small things and devote herself fully to her passion. He then grants her his powers and vanishes, leaving her to fall down. When Zhao opens her eyes, she finds herself in a lavish hotel room with many expensive dresses and accessories. She wonders what is happening, but then looks in the mirror to find that she has possessed the body of the arrogant actress Ling. In another part of the city, Shu and his brother go to meet the leader of the treasure hunter company. Led by an elite treasure hunter, Shu's brother freed him from the prison and brought him here because they have something important to discuss about the legendary armor and the man who came out of the clay statue. They believe that since ancient armor was found at that place, it can be an access point to unimaginable treasures, but the leader doesn't care about that. Instead, he begins lashing out at Shu, who got caught by police and put the entire treasure hunter company at risk. Shu apologizes for that and begs for a chance to correct his mistakes. His brother also supports him, saying that they will capture Yun, who is probably the key to opening the access point to great treasure. The leader gives them permission to do what they want, and after they leave, the elite treasure hunter named Bai asks him what he is planning. The sly leader says that he isn't hiding anything, and then shifts his focus by mentioning that the dark spirit called Producer was spotted recently. Back at Yun's location, he finds that the shooting set is being dismantled, and all the stuff is being carried away. Shin wonders why this is happening because they have a few more scenes left to shoot, and just as Yun is about to tell her that her dad must be behind it, Hong attacks him. He yells at Yun for being with his daughter again, and then proudly declares that he has got the permit to shoot at a premium site rather than this shabby set. The annoyed Shin leaves, with Hong going behind her, and just then, Zhao, who is possessing Ling's body, comes there. She approaches Yun and thanks him for yesterday, but he has seen her for the first time. Just then, a fancy car arrives at the set, and a rich asshole and popular named Ma comes out of it. The girls on the set immediately swarm around him, but he is only interested in Ling. He is probably Ling's boyfriend or something, but Zhao is taken aback when he tries to kiss her, so she runs and hides behind Yun. Ma gets furious that Ling is interested in another guy, but when Yun says that he is just a stuntman, he thinks that she is acting to make him jealous. He begins pinching Yun's cheek and telling the girl to at least find someone who is more believable. Just then, Shin arrives there, and after staring at her, Ma tells her that she has got potential. He gives her a check to sign her for the next movie he is producing, but Hong comes there just then and pockets the check. Ma asks him who the hell is he, and Hong replies that he is the guy who lent his company a huge loan 2 years ago that they have not repaid yet. The two men get into a competition to show off their wealth, and it seems that Ma's Ferrari is going to help him win. But then Hong calls a black horse to the site, who tramples on the Ferrari. After that, they go to the location of shooting, which is just an open space. Hong says that once the movie is a hit, they will create an ancient Chinese theme restaurant and hotel here and make money from it. Shin is disappointed in her dad, but the director thinks that the location is perfect to shoot a battle scene, but he falls into a pit and the shooting gets cancelled. Later, as Shin is reading the script of her new drama, she is disappointed by the cringe storyline about time travel to ancient China. She asks Yun how it feels to come to a different time, and he says that he felt lonely because he remembered everything but didn't have anyone with him. He thanks Shin for taking him in, and then they have a guest. It is Shin's senior who took her to the tomb that day, and he thinks that Yun is her boyfriend. However, when he learns the truth about him coming out of a clay statue, he sweats buckets and bows to him. He begins asking for the important details about Yun's time and family and learns that he is a descendant of a famous man. However, he knows nothing about his brother Tai, even though he was a big shot in his time. Yun insists that there should be something about Tai because he created the elixir to make the emperor live a long life. The senior is confused to hear that, because there is no mention of that in history, and the emperor died on a journey to the east to find ways to become immortal. Speaking of that, the senior also remembers that the emperor decided to purge Yun's entire village because of an ill omen. Yun is devastated to hear that, but he does not know that after his village was destroyed and Mei was killed, Tai decided to switch teams and helped Xiang, who was the prince of a neighboring clan, to burn the palace as his revenge. Xiang was not satisfied just with that, and he wanted to dig out the emperor's dead body to humiliate it. He sent the enslaved soldiers of the empire to dig the tomb, and they found a heavy gate guarding the tomb. On opening it, they were attacked by zombie soldiers, but Xiang decided to deal with them quickly with the enslaved soldiers as casualties. He sent huge boulders down that crushed everyone and then shot fire arrows to burn the remaining zombies. But then suddenly, the fire went out and a golden beam of light shot out from the tomb. Everyone wondered what that strange thing that just flew out of the cave was, and Xiang asked them to bring his bow. He shot a powerful arrow that brought rubble down from the rocks and sealed the entrance to the tomb once again. After that, he ordered his men to search every corner of the capital and find Tai, because he suspected that he was behind the attack. Back to the present, Yun thinks that his family must have died because of the tyrant emperor, and the senior tells him that even if they were not killed, they could not have lived as long as him. He then asks for Yun's help in identifying the armor they found in the ruins, because it is a really special discovery. The armor is one of its kind, and there are special symbols carved inside it that no one understands. As Yun sees the symbols, one of them feels oddly familiar. Later, the thought of his family dying and the strange symbol weigh heavily on his mind. And as he is playing the role of an ordinary soldier in the movie shooting, he loses control of himself and begins attacking the fellow stuntmen for real. The director immediately stops the shooting and goes towards Yun to scold him, but he ends up falling in a pit again. Meanwhile, Yun takes a break, and Zhao comes there to give him some water. She tells him not to stress about the mistakes, and then quickly asks him if there is something going on between him and Shin. Yun doesn't understand her question, and Zhao can't bring herself to explain that she is interested in him. Nearby, Shin comes out of her dressing van and feels a bit jealous on seeing Yun with another girl, but then quickly leaves for her shoot. Behind her, Ma is also spying on Yun and Zhao, whom he still thinks is Ling. He is pissed that Ling is getting along so well with Yun, but he has some evil plans to teach him a lesson. As he is laughing like a madman, Hong comes there, and seeing Ma so near his daughter's dressing van, he accuses him of being a perverted stalker, so he runs him over by horses. Just then, he gets a call from a man telling him to meet him later because he has found the thing he was looking for. So Hong goes to meet the guy called Zhang, who is actually a member of the treasure hunter company. Zhang fools around with him and throws a paper plane at his head, and Hong gets angry. However, the paper plane contained information about Shu and his brother, because Hong wanted to know who dared kidnap his daughter. Zhang is curious because he thinks that Hong has more reasons than just his family's well-being. He thinks that he is also aiming for the treasure, but Hong says that he retired from being a treasure hunter long ago, and he is not planning to return now. He then warns Zhang that if his daughter lands in danger because of the company, he will turn into John Wick. He begins to leave, but then Zhang tells him that the company is not interested in his daughter, but in his son, who disappeared while searching for a treasure 7 years ago. That hits a nerve with Hong, and he is ready to pummel Zhang, but stops at the last moment. The next day, as Shin goes to see Yun on the rooftop, she finds that he has created a whole farm on the rooftop. There are chickens, hens, pigs, and even a koala there. Yun now lives in a tent and steals electricity to read books and study history. Shin doesn't know if she should be worried or impressed, but then she finds his diary. He talks a lot about her in the diary, and Shin is pleased, but then she remembers how he was happily talking with Zhao the other day and decides to check his diary to see if he is interested in her. What she finds instead are the details of the tomb where he was buried. Yun has been investigating the tomb a little each day, and today he seems to have found something special. Shin reaches the tomb to search for him and tries to contact her senior for authorization, but his number is switched off. She decides to enter the tomb without permission anyway because she is worried about Yun. She gets scared by the slightest sound and throws her torch at a cat, but just as she is relaxing, she hears footsteps behind her and someone shuts her mouth and takes her to a corner. It turns out to be her dad, who asks her what she is doing here. Shin throws the same question at him, but Hong tells her that she should not be here because the place is dangerous. Just then, her senior also comes there, and Shin realizes that he was working for her dad the whole time. There is Yun's picture on his tablet, and she realizes that the two of them are plotting something against him. She confronts her senior and asks what is happening here. Hong answers her question and says that they are doing this for her brother. 7 years ago, he was searching for treasure near this region when he came across some mysterious ruins, and just as he touched them, he was spirited away, leaving only his bag. The senior was there with him on the mission, and he saw him vanish in a bright light. No one believed him, but he clearly remembers the incident and the strange symbol on the ruins that matched the one found in the armor. At the same time, Yun finds the symbol inside the tomb. His sister-in-law had told him that it was Tai's symbol, and he put it on everything that he created. He realizes that there must be something for him here if this place is made by his brother, so he keeps searching, unaware that Shu's demon rats are following him. Meanwhile, in the city, Zhao receives a call from Ma, who tells her that he doesn't like her being with a mere stuntman. That is why he is leading his goons to thrash Yun and tells her that if she wants to spare him a hospital trip, she should stop being adamant and patch up things with him. Zhao is taken aback to hear that, but then suddenly, her eyes turn pitch black as the dark powers of the producer possess her body. Back in the tomb, Shin realizes that Yun is the key to finding her brother. But she is not happy that her senior kept her in the dark all this time. She lashes out at him for using her to get close to Yun. But Hong says that he ordered it so that she stays out of danger. He says that Yun keeps bringing misfortunes to her, and she has been in serious danger again and again because of him. That is why he always planned to separate them. Shin is not happy. But then a bigger problem arises for Hong as Shu's brother Wolf arrives there. He asks Hong if he is also here for the treasure, and the old guy immediately tells the senior to take Shin away. She doesn't understand what is going on, but the senior takes her arm and runs away. Wolf attacks Hong and creates an explosion with his bare fists. Hong dodged that attack easily, and gears up to the fight with a red ribbon. He uses the ribbon to use a variety of unpredictable moves that keep Wolf on his toes, but then he manages to grab him and slam him to the ground. In response, Hong uses the ribbon to strangle him, and as Wolf tries to free himself, Hong wraps the ribbon around his fist and hits him with a devastating blow. Hong starts pummeling him senseless. But then Wolf reveals that he is a werewolf who doesn't need a full moon to unleash his true strength. While the fight rages on behind her, Shin decides to take the risk and head to help Yun instead, stealing her senior's tablet. Meanwhile, Yun reaches the center of the tomb, where he finds various astronomical patterns pointing towards a stone. He wonders what is hidden there when suddenly, a paper plane comes there. Yun is alert now, and then Zhang casually walks towards him, complaining how hard it is to get through this place. Yun is cautious of him, but he starts feeling weak in his presence, and Zhang clicks pictures of the stone and its surroundings without a care, and then leaves, warning him that there may be some stinky rats around. Once he is left alone, Yun decides to activate the symbols with his spiritual power. As his spiritual fire covers the symbols, they create an illusion of the galaxy and the constellations. They link together, and then suddenly, a stone pillar with many holes rises out of the ground. Meanwhile, Ma and his men arrive at the set and start breaking things and beating people as they look for Yun. Even the director is too terrified of Ma to do anything, and he agrees to cooperate. Ma asks him the address of Yun, and the director replies that he doesn't know because that guy had no documents. Ma is not pleased with his answer. But just then, Zhao comes there and tells him to stop because she is ready to talk to him. Ma says that he is going to teach her lover a lesson anyway. Even if she listens to him now, he gets too pushy, and Zhao instinctively slaps him. That hurts Ma's ego, which is smaller than the small worm in his pants, and he commands his guards to tie Zhao up and bring her to his room. Back at the tomb, Shin looks around for Yun and tries finding him using the security footage. To her shock, she finds Shu there, and just then, her senior comes there and grabs her hand. He asks her to return to the surface because it is dangerous here. But she refuses to leave without Yun. She asks the senior who is the person who just attacked her dad outside, and he tells her that he is a treasure hunter. The treasure hunter company wants to capture Yun, and Shin is also a target because she is the only person close to him. That is why Hong forced his way into her film so that he could always stay close to her and protect her. Just then, the senior is attacked from behind, and Shu comes out snickering, saying that he didn't know Shin was the daughter of the famous treasure hunter Hong. He decides to take her hostage to blackmail Hong, but her senior steps up and tells her to run while he stops Shu. However, as Shu summons his demon rats, the senior immediately folds and freaks out. Shu then decides to deal with Shin, But his dark attack disperses as his hand gets attacked by a paper plane. Zhang comes there, saying that he was aiming for his head, but it is difficult to control a paper plane. Shu is shocked to see him and asks why he is betraying the company, and Zhang only says that Hong paid him more than his annual salary for this one mission. Just then, the ground rattles, and Zhang remarks that it means Yun has found the treasure. As he keeps talking with Shu, Xin runs away towards Yun. Zhang pays her no mind, and Shu decides to kill him first before going after the girl. He uses his flute that he has barely patched up and summons his demonic rats. In response, Zhang shows how strong his finger game is by folding an origami cat using just one hand and sending it towards the demon rats. The paper cat grows in size and destroys the rats, leaving Shu stunned. On the other hand, Yun looks at the pillar that looks like the projection devices from his time. He sees a slot that matches the size of the necklace he has and decides to put it in. Just as the sphere is in its place, the pillar activates and releases a blinding light that engulfs the entire tomb. Outside, Hong is getting his ass whooped by Wolf, who tells the old man to say any last words he has. Hong decides to unleash his hidden strength and suddenly becomes a roided-up version of himself. However, just as he is about to clash with Wolf, the bright light interrupts them. When the light fades, Hong is shocked to see the spirit of his dead son in front of him. The spirit smiles as it passes away peacefully to the afterlife, and then the other spirits around them also vanish one by one. Inside the tomb, the situation is even more intense as the souls of entire armies who lost their lives in the war are circling Yun and the pillar. While everyone is at a complete loss about what is happening, Zhang is enjoying himself. Yun looks around, and then the image of Xiang appears from the illusions. He quickly vanishes, and then Yun sees Tai in front of him, but before he can process anything, he is suddenly teleported away. Xin, Zhang, and even Shu get teleported along with him, and a bright beam of light erupts from the tomb. It is visible all the way from the shooting set, where Zhao instinctively worries about Yun on seeing it. Ma grabs her hand and tells her to pay attention to him instead, but Zhao also turns into light and teleports away. He is shocked, but moments later, he too teleports away. The beam of light vanishes, leaving only the confused senior behind, while Yun and the rest of the people who got teleported with him reach the ancient era.
Take you out.